What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about 4 different altcoins today. We're going to be going over CRV for Stana, XDC for the Unleavened Baptist, KLS for Mr. M Hat, and MNW for Bolage. I think that's how you pronounce it. Bolage. Yes, guys, it's a mess behind me. I just moved. I have not packed. I've not moved in. I have moved out, so all the boxes are everywhere. Enough about me though. Let's go over this. I don't care what the background looks like. It's a little taste of reality. But if anybody has any requests that they want to see on a more real note, feel free to leave it in the comments or join the Discord. I'll leave a link in the description for the Discord. I do see to those requests first. We have a request page there. I don't care if it's a coin that I've talked about recently. I don't care if it's a coin that nobody's ever talked about, or if it's a coin that everybody talks about, or if it's a stock, whatever. I don't care. If I can bring it up on TradingView or find a way to chart it, I will do my best to give my honest opinion backed by technical analysis. So without any further ado, we're going to do it in that order. CRV first, XDC second, finishing it up with KLS and MNW, Morpheus Network. So let's get into this, man. Let's get started. I was just looking at this actually, and I've got, I was looking at how much of this is a circulating versus non, and there's a pretty undiluted total supply, right? That's not out there yet. We'll go back to the tokenomics in a second, but looking at this price chart, you go to the max. This is a good way to tell, if you want to put it like in layman's terms and just make it simple, this is a pretty good way to tell if something is releasing tokens so fast that's what's bringing the price down, right? So you can see that this chart for most of its existence has just gone down, right? Basically since December of 2021, it's shit show, right? If you look at the market cap though, max as well, and you put logarithmic on there, yes, since December it has gone down, but more or less it's actually been in an uptrend since June of 2022, where the price itself has only formed an uptrend recently, back in September of this year, so over a year later. It's been in a downtrend for that time. So I'm assuming some coins got released, and that's actually what I want to look at the tokenomics for. So if you go down here, it doesn't. Those colors don't match. Community is what it says. So it's being released to the community, the people who are probably participating in the DAO, right? The decentralized autonomous organization. Maybe they're mining, maybe they're staking, maybe they're voting, however it is that they get rewards. Then a large bit is the core team. Man, the core team's got a lot, huh? I was looking at this, and I can't draw a vertical line on this, but this, if you go basically bring it straight down, that's in between June and September. So sometime in July or August of 2024, the amount of coins being pumped into circulation, you can see the curve. It goes neutral here, or might even decrease, where this just also kind of decreases, right? So maybe sometime in the midst of the bull run, we could expect to see a huge improvement in this thing, something to take into consideration for sure on this date here, whenever whenever the new supply being pumped into the market is going to be cut down significantly, it looks like, because right now you're at a pretty steep curve throughout all this, and this looks to fall neutral or even negative on the curve maybe. I don't know how it would fall negative. It would have to be neutral. But anyways. Let's get to the price. Stana, you know how to pick them. I really do. Besides all the stuff, what I really don't like, I really hate stuff like this where the price goes down but the market cap stays neutral or goes up even, which that's exactly what this one is. But I will say the price itself, I really like this formation. It's what they call an Adam and Eve pattern. It's a very bullish setup, right? You've got this V bottom, you've got a nice soft U. They call it the Adam and Eve. I mean, you can see, right? I'm not cherry picking. It's pretty damn perfect. I really love that setup, and what this implies is that you will not only go up to this previous area here, but you will burst through it. You will break through it. Maybe you go to it and you consolidate for a second and then you break through it, and I doubt that when you break through it it's just going to be a straight line, but more or less you're going to move up fairly quickly. At least that's what this pattern would imply. So if we were to do a measure move on this, assuming double bottom, classic Adam and Eve behavior, once it breaks this focal point here, you would probably see a price growth at least all the way up to $4.43. That's the measure move, right? $4.45. Here you are sitting at 69 cents right now. Yes, you are up 14% this week so far, and we only have about a day left in the week, so you've been doing some growing, but I still think, relatively speaking, this is a nice entry point for anybody that wants to get in on something that's likely going to go higher. I really do like the overall shape of this. But looking at this top to bottom here, assuming that was a fake out of a double bottom, you're below your 236 even, man. I really do like it. I think that it's one of the few that's like it's taken off, but it really hasn't taken off yet, has it? And its market cap 648. It's not super low, but I mean it's low enough to make some sizable gains. Let's see what you're doing in the immediate term. Looking at this here on the weekly, maybe I can bump it down to the daily in a second. So we're at the 0.5. I do think you proceed to go higher. You might consolidate around this $1.13, $1.30 area, maybe even around $1 itself, and then make your move up to $1.80 and beyond. These are the more immediate kind of targets to go to, right? But remember, your measure move is all the way up here at like 445, all the way up here. So with that in mind, if you break this 886, this 1886 extension, I would think that you go to the 2272. It's very common, and that comes in line with your previous all-time high, or your current all-time high. So at least on this chart, so that would make sense. I wouldn't just expect that you hit your measure move over time, but that you would exceed it. You would exceed it, and likely break out to new all-time highs, which would then actually imply, let's see here, that could imply that you would see extensions of this overall move, which maybe by the end of the cycle you see prices that are at like $14.90 or $14.80, I'm sorry, to $40, somewhere in that range. And here we are sitting at about 69 cents right now, so it's pretty decent growth. What would that do to the market cap? I'll get into the more immediate stuff in a second, I promise. To like give like my more immediate, I mean, directionally speaking, I think this thing wants to go up, but that would be a 21x, almost a 22x to potentially a 57x. Times 10 would be 6.4 billion. So times 5 would be, would that be 50 billion? Am I wrong? I don't know. What's 6 times 5 would be 35, but 6.5 be 37 and a half. So 37.5 billion. Yeah, it could go higher than that. It could absolutely go higher than this, but I think that this, for being something that's like relatively new speaking, seeing a market cap in the tens of billions of dollars should be a bit of a limit. I doubt that it sees a multi-$100 billion market cap, so I don't know if this thing's 100xable, but one thing is for certain, this chart is bullish. I do really like the posturing. The weekly RSI looks very bullish, man, bouncing off that 50 like that, looking super strong. Daily RSI has a problem being below the 50. That is a strong signal in itself as well. Yeah, I really like this chart. Good choice, definitely a good choice, Santa. I don't know if I like it as far as like the circulating supply goes, because as more gets pumped up, you know, that can kind of interfere. The math that I was doing with this as far as the market cap goes might be thrown off as more coins are being pumped into the circulation, but I don't know what the release like kind of, I know I was looking at it, but like I don't know how many coins. I guess there's going to be 200 million. Is that how many? 200 more million? Or is that 2,000 million, which would be like 2 billion? Is that correct? I don't know, man. If you're going to be releasing like practically all of the supply up in the middle of this bull run, you might have a harder time actually, right? Because then you're not at 648 million, but you'd be at this, and then probably at higher prices from now, or maybe even at the same price. That would definitely lessen your ability to grow. Like let's pretend right now with the current price. I know this, I'm going all over the place, but let's pretend right now you're fully diluted at this current price right here. You'd be basically worth 1.8 million. So to see a $60 billion market cap, or a 30, we were talking about 37 earlier, you'd only see a 37x instead of what was it was like a 50 something x, right? So that would definitely impede your ability to grow, which I'm curious about. So anyways, that's CRV. Moving on from there, we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about? What's the next one? It is XDC USD. KuCoin. Yeah, we'll use KuCoin. All right. on the weekly here, man. It's been a little while since we've talked about XDC, but this is a very positive look on the weekly RSI. You know, I think my last videos I was bearish to below 5 cents. I think I even said 4.6 cents to 4.2 cents if I remember correctly. I'm not 100% sure, but we did go, check my last video on XDC and correct me if I'm wrong, but 4.48 cents is pretty damn close to where I'm fairly positive I was projecting out to. The reason for that, you know, is from low to high here, you had fib retracements over there, right? Let's see, something like that. Let's see, maybe it was this one from this low to that high, right there at the 618. That would make sense. Previous areas of resistance, previous areas of support, stuff like that. It kind of makes sense to come down here, and you're in this upward trend all in all. Finding support on the 50 is really nice to see on the weekly. Let's see, it probably goes up more. Holding that oversold zone, not even getting oversold, and you're above the 50 again. You are being held down by this green line though, and it is tilted to the downside, which isn't necessarily encouraging. You do have kind of like a flat top. Maybe you're forming like an ascending triangle or something. Let me look at this weekly again. I don't know, man. I guess you would need to continue to grow because you've already gone up a lot this week and you came back down. Don't get below this 50. Don't get below this 50. If this crosses back down below the 50, this bullish scenario that you have set up, it's going to go out the window. So keep going, which it looks like you're having a hard time doing, to be completely honest. I don't mind the RSI, but I don't like the price action so much. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think of this thing. Inherently, I would think that you're gearing up to go higher. Let me see what this is doing on the fibs again. Yeah, I mean, I would think you are. You held that 618 fairly well. You didn't even hit your 382 though, which is kind of concerning twice. But I don't know. XDC likes to run, man. It could be messing with you. I mean, you do have higher lows so far still. Yeah, I don't know, man. Having a hard time getting to your 382 is not encouraging, but you are holding your 069. As long as you're holding this previous area of resistance and your 618 here as support, somewhere around like 4.57 cents. As long as you're holding that area of support, I'm not concerned with this thing. If not, if you do break below that, I would think that you might see prices down at about 3.7 cents to 3.3 cents. I doubt you would go lower than this low though, but that would be sad for XDC, honestly, because this is a really nice posturing in the RSI, but 4 hour kind of looks not decent. 1 hour looks like it wants to go down, but these are shorter term time frames anyways, so let's just hope next week is good, and let's close this week out strong, right? Definitely don't want to close this week red. That wouldn't be good. Don't close this week. If it's red and it's neutral, it's okay. Like if it was like this deep but to the red side, it's okay. But if we were to engulf this previous candle, that would not be good. And it's not a big candle to engulf. So anyways, moving on from XDC, that's what I got for you. I know that I didn't really have like a directional heading there. I'm more saying I hope it goes up, you know, for continuation. I would think if I had to like bet money, I would think that it does want to go up, but it looks like it should have done it already, which is just a little concerning. So be mindful. Be mindful. I know I'm not like really saying it's going to go one way. I'm saying it's going to go one way or another. I'm not saying which way it's going. But be mindful of breaking this area here. That would not be ideal. A break below that, you'd probably go down again to 3.7 to 3.3 cents before you started seeing more upside. You'd still form just another higher low, but it would just take more time. You probably would close out the year not too hot. And that could happen. You know, if Bitcoin drops, if some other stuff happens, like you never know. But if I had to guess, if I had to choose one side, I would say that I think it's going to go higher. Personally, I would say that for what it's worth. But enough about that. Let's move on to KLS. KLS USD. Oh yeah, you said I was going to have a hard time on this, didn't you? Let's look it up here. KLS. Is that it? Koala swap? Koala swap? I don't think that's right, because you said it was something else, didn't you? Let me look here. Mr. M Hat. One moment. Let me see here. It's called Carlsen. Okay. All right, yeah, I'll just have to look this up on CoinGecko. KLS Carlson, that one there. Doesn't have a determined market cap or anything, you know, kind of hard to discern. Let's look at the price, max, logarithmic, make it a candle, sure, if we want to. That's not helpful. That was just one big candle, wasn't it? Yeah. I think that's a glitch. Or it's only been out for a day. That's why. Okay, so it's brand new. I don't know what you want me to do with this thing, man. Technically, it's at all-time lows right now, so great time to buy. I don't know the market cap. It might be small, it might be high. Just because it's a fork off of CAS does not mean that good things are going to come from it. There are plenty of forks off of Bitcoin, off of Dogecoin that they come out, they shit the bed, and then they have a day that they pump, but it's still lower than what like they initially released at. You know, I'm sure this thing goes up and down throughout its time, but I don't know enough about it to really think anything about it. It's not on any charts. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I would say stay away, but if you know something I don't, you know, I know that there are people out there that are more educated than I am as far as like knowing how to find hidden gems. This could be one, but and it is a CAS fork, so there could be benefits to that. But generally speaking, when you fork something off of a community that's charged, right? In the CAS community, CASPA, they're very tribal. They're very passionate about CASPA. I don't think they'd want to see the success of another mimic project. I don't, you know, there's not going to be like anybody who likes CAS, they're probably not going to be buying this thing unless it works in unison with CAS. But again, I don't know much about this. So enough about this. It's kind of a waste of space to talk about, in my opinion. So down, if I had to guess, I think it goes down, but it could go up. It's at its all-time lows. If you were to buy, I suppose it's probably not a bad time to buy. Moving on from there, we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about? Finishing it up with MNW. MNW. MNW on KuCoin. Yeah, I think KuCoin's the way to go. Okay. Looking at this here, it is looking a little bit bearish, isn't it, huh? Nice little pop, and you didn't hold it. You rolled over. That's not encouraging. It's actually very not encouraging, especially when a lot of things are doing well. You found significance off the 0.5. You're below your 236. A lot of things going against you here. You are below your 50 as well. This is a not good-looking chart, man. You are at your 61869 area. So what you have going for you, I guess, is that you are kind of holding this area as support right now, but you're dipping into it, where before you were bouncing off of it. Previous area of resistance, you could be holding it as support. You could be. Having a hard time getting above that 50, having no problem staying below it. That's not really encouraging, is it? Lower highs, lower lows, volumes increasing as you come down. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I would hate to see this thing go lower, but I'm kind of leaning toward the idea that it does. Maybe it goes up first. Here it is at $1.1385. Maybe it goes up to like $1.25, $1.30, somewhere in there, and then rolls back over. As long as you're holding this general area as support, I suppose you're fine. But you're cutting it close, man. You're cutting it real close, and you have a lot more volume selling than you did buying, but sometimes, you know, like whenever you get your biggest volume, that's when you stop going down, right? And you more or less move sideways, but that was your low, was around this time of the biggest volume. But sometimes you get your low without volume, so it's, you know, that's, don't take that as like a end all be all, right? You had a lot of volume here, but you didn't go up, you continued to go down. And I feel like that's generally how it is. Like if I had to generalize it, I would say you generally finish a top with high volume, you finish a low with low volume. But that's, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. If I had to guess, man, Morpheus network looks weak. I think it wants to continue going down. You have hidden bearish divergence here. Higher highs in your RSI, while having lower highs in your price. You are hugging this line that you need to find support on. You're finding support on it, but you're not getting a bounce. It's not encouraging. It's really not encouraging at all. So you'll probably get a bounce soon. You'll go up to like $1.20 to $1.30 and then roll around, right? Lower high, lower low after that. So that's all I got. If I had to pick a winner between all four of these coins, I would say probably CRV. CRV looks pretty decent. XDC is pretty decent as well, though it's got a little bit of a question mark next to it, right? I don't like MNW right now, and I've got nothing really to say about KLS. Flip a coin, man. Don't bet the farm, but if you want to put money in it, go ahead. Don't let me stop you. But if I had to pick a winner out of all of these, CRV looks the most promising. Like if I wanted to sleep good at night, CRV is probably the one that would help me do that. So without any further ado, I think that's everything I got, guys. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and thank you all for coming. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.